welcome to my channel. This is Elizabeth with Wandering Soul Enterprises. Here today to bring you a summer dosha balancing sequence. So in the summertime, it's really hot and usually kind of dry compared to some of the other seasons. So there's a lot of Pitta energy during the summertime. And to temper that, we're going to be doing some poses that are focused on cooling. So we're going to be incorporating a lot of cooling, refreshing energy into our practice today. There will be a little bit of a boat pose towards the end because we still want to make sure we're keeping that inner fire burning to burn off any stale energy that doesn't serve us, but we also want to be refreshed and cool as well. So we're going to start seated. You can sit on a folded blanket if you'd like, and sit up nice and tall. And on the exhale, we'll take the chin towards the chest. And inhale, lift the gaze towards the ceiling. Exhaling, taking the chin towards the chest. Inhaling, lifting the gaze towards the ceiling. Let's do one more of these. And we'll bring the gaze straight forward. Then on the exhale, we'll take the left ear to the left shoulder. Inhale here, exhale, taking the chin to the chest. Bringing the right ear to the right shoulder. Inhale here, and exhale, take the chin to the chest. Following your breath. And exhale, bring the chin to the chest. Inhale, bring the gaze straight forward. Let's roll the shoulders. And then roll the shoulders in the opposite direction. Okay, now we're gonna keep the hands on the knees. And on the inhale, we're gonna bring the chest forward and rotate the pelvis under. And on the exhale, we're gonna make a C shape with the spine, turning the gaze towards the belly button, rotating the pelvis back up. So we're really focusing on that pelvic tilt here, warming up the hips. And then we'll inhale, coming back up to seated. Let's bring the soles of the feet to the mat, and we'll do some windshield wiper legs, taking the knees from side to side. Again, just warming up the hips. You can experiment bringing the feet further away from you or closer towards you, or having them closer together or further apart. And then we'll bring the legs back into our cross-legged pose. And just want to show you a little bit of a cooling breath that you can do anytime you're feeling overheated. So there's a couple of options depending on your genetic capabilities. So if you have the gene that allows you to make the taco tongue, like this, I've been blessed, you can do that. If you don't have the gene that allows you to do that, you just kind of bring your teeth close together like this, okay? So if you have the taco tongue, let me show you what you do. And you'll feel how that cools off the body. If you don't have taco tongue, you're gonna be doing this. So anytime you're feeling overheated in your yoga practice, maybe if you're taking a hot yoga class or something like that, you can bring in these breathing exercises to help cool you down, okay? Just a little tip. So let's go ahead and come up to standing. We're gonna practice some moon salutations, which are cooling, but also they're kind of energizing as well. So we're gonna start in Tadasana, mountain pose, thighs lifting up out of the kneecaps, the core engaged, shoulders up, back, and down. We'll inhale and bring the arms up over the head, and on the exhale, we're gonna take it to one side for a little crescent moon. Inhale, we'll bring it back up. On the exhale, take it to the other side. And inhale, bring it back up. We'll step the feet out, bring the arms out into 5-pointed star pose. And on the exhale, we're gonna bend the knees coming into goddess. Inhale, we'll lift it up. We're gonna rotate the feet so that the right toes are pointing straight forward, the left toes are pointing towards the front of your mat, shoulders are stacked over the hips. Exhale, we're gonna shift the torso and bring it into triangle pose. Inhale, we'll bring it back to standing. Exhale, rotate into rotated triangle pose. And then we'll bring that hand back down. We'll slide the back foot back, bringing it into a runner's lunge. And we're gonna walk the hands over, bringing it to runner's lunge on the other side. We're gonna slide the back foot up into our triangle formation. Inhaling, bringing it up to rotated triangle. Exhale here. On the next inhale, we're gonna bring it up into our regular triangle. Then inhale, bringing it back to our 5-pointed star. Exhale to goddess. And inhale, we'll bring it back to center. All right, so the moon salutation is kind of fun. We're gonna do it in the other direction this time, but I'm gonna show a different modification that you can do. So we'll inhale, bring the arms up to shoulder height, up above the head, excuse me. On the exhale, we'll take it to one side. Inhale, bring it back to center. Exhale, take it to the other side. Inhale, bringing it back to center. Let's step it out to our 5-pointed star. Exhale to goddess. Inhale, back up. So now we're going to rotate into our triangle. Inhale, bring it back up. Exhale, coming into rotated triangle. Inhaling, bringing it back up. We're gonna step the feet out, coming into a crescent lunge, a high lunge, and then we'll bring it through goddess and bring it into a high lunge or crescent lunge on the other side. And then we'll bring that back foot up, bringing it into our rotated triangle. Inhaling, bringing it back to our regular triangle. Coming into our 5-pointed star, goddess, and back to the middle. Okay, so that's moon salutation. I think they're so much fun. I don't know, it's a little different than your sun salutation. So from here, I wanted to do a separate leg head to knee pose. So we're gonna have the left toes pointing straight towards the front of your mat. The right heel is in line with the left heel. They're about 24 inches apart or so. And the right toes are just offset slightly here. Now you can move that right foot out a little bit more if you need more space to accommodate the hips. You'll have your shoulders stacked over the hips. Your body's pointing straight towards the front of the mat. I like to bring this into reverse prayer, but you can also clasp the hands behind the body or bring the hands down with you here. This pose really teaches you to surrender the head to the heart. And I think that's one of the most beautiful things about yoga is finding that balance between will and surrender. Inhale, lifting the spine. On the exhale, we're gonna hinge from the hips, folding forward. And then you can bend the knee as much as you need to and arch the spine until you make contact. And work on straightening that front knee. On the inhale, we're going to press through the feet, coming back up to standing. And then we'll rotate the feet, so we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Inhaling, lifting the spine. Exhaling, folding forward, hinging from the hips. Bending the front knee, arching the spine, making contact. And if you feel like you're clawing your toes into the mat, try lifting them up. Engaging the arches. And inhale, pressing to the soles of the feet. We'll bring it back up to standing. Nice. All right, so we're gonna release the arms. Ooh, maybe rotate the wrist a little bit here. Let's come up to the front of the mat, into Devasana, mountain pose. Inhale, bring the arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, coming halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. We'll plant the hands and step the feet back, coming into plank, engaging all the muscles, hugging them into the bones. Inhale, lean forward, and exhale, chaturanga, keep the arms tucked in by the rib cage, lowering inch by inch down to the mat, bringing the tops of the feet to the mat. And from here, we're gonna stretch the arms out in front of the body. Stretching the fingertips away from the toes. And on the inhale, visualize energy coming into the core in the center of your body. And on the exhale, shoot that energy out through the fingertips and the toes. And to accentuate this, you can stretch the arms and legs out into an X shape. Inhaling, breathing into the core. And exhale, shooting the energy out through the fingertips and the toes. So this energy pathway is called Vyana Vayu. Let's inhale and bring the hands and the feet back to center. So it helps to calm the peripheral nervous system. On the inhale, we're going to draw the elbows in underneath the shoulders, lifting the chest and the chin up off the mat. We still have the tops of the feet, the tops of the thighs, and the hips in contact with the mat. Here in Sphinx pose. And then we'll bring the hands together. You can either clasp the hands or fold them in prayer and then rest the chin on the tops of the fingers to fully traction the spine in crocodile pose. Inhaling, bringing the breath all the way into the pelvis. And exhale. Let's bring the hands down. We'll bring the hands one on top of the other, bringing the forehead to the hands, gently rocking the hips from side to side. And then we'll bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Inhale into cobra and exhale into child's pose. Just taking a few breaths here. If you'd like, you can practice your taco tongue breath. And then come up to seated. We'll bring it into Dandasana, seated staff pose. So gently rocking back and forth to get even on the sitting bones, pressing out the heels, drawing the toes back in, kneecaps pointing straight up. Imagine an invisible thread pulling the crown of the head up out of the hips. Shoulders are up, back, and down, and the fingertips are grazing the mat. Nice and active, sitting tall in Dandasana. We'll inhale and bring the arms by the ears, and exhale, fold forward, reaching for the toes, ankles, or shins. And inhale, we'll bring it back up. We'll bring the sole of the right foot to the inside of the left thigh. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, fold forward. Inhaling, bringing it back to center. Stretch both feet out in Dandasana. Bring the arms by the ears. Exhale, fold forward. Inhaling, coming back to center. We'll bring the sole of the left foot to the inside of the right thigh. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold forward. Inhaling, bringing it back to center. We'll bring both feet out, press to the heels, draw the toes in. Inhale, bring the arms by the ears, and exhale, fold forward in Dandasana. Inhaling, coming back to center. So from here, we're going to bring the legs out into a wide leg straddle pose. You can bring the blanket underneath the hips if that feels good to you. If you're feeling some tightness here. Pressing out through the heels, drawing the toes back in, kneecaps pointing up towards the ceiling. Inhale, feel that invisible thread pulling the crown of the head up out of the hips. And on the exhale, we're gonna walk the hands forward, coming to a forward fold. inhale, walk it back up. We'll bring the soles of the feet together for our bound ankle pose. Inhale, lengthening the spine. On the exhale, walking the hands forward. If that feels okay, you don't have to walk the hands forward if that feels painful. We don't want any pain. No pain, no pain. Then we'll inhale and walk the hands back up. And let's bring out our blanket. If you want, you can actually have 2 blankets, one for each knee. I'm just gonna demo this with 1 blanket like this, spread over the mat crosswise. So we're gonna come onto the hands and the knees, wrist under the shoulders, knees under the hips, and then we're gonna bring the elbows down so that the elbows are under the shoulders. We're gonna clasp the hands together except for the pointer fingers and the thumbs, and we're gonna press down through the forearms, engaging the shoulder girdle. And then start to walk the knees out to the side as far as you can comfortably, flexing the feet. So you're making frog legs for frog pose. You can also practice having one leg extended back and the other leg folded out for half frog. And again, you can practice that cooling breath here with the taco tongue if you want. And then when you're ready, you can start to walk the knees back to center, bringing it into child's pose. And then we'll inhale, coming up to seated. We'll bring the blanket out of the way. If you have a strap handy, you might want to use it for this next part. I forgot to grab mine, so I'm just gonna demo this without it. But I'll try to explain how to use this strap as we go along. So we're gonna come back down to the mat. Bring the back of the head to the mat. And then we're going to take the peace fingers around the peace fingers of the right hand around the right big toe. If that's not accessible to you, you can bring a strap around the foot. Okay, I'm miming it here. Okay, if you can grab the big toe, go for it and stretch that leg out. You can keep the left hand on the left hip to keep that leg stable and flex the left foot to keep that leg active. And then we'll bring the right foot over to the side, opening it out. Keeping both shoulder blades and the hips even on the mat. And then inhaling, bringing it back to center. We're gonna switch and bring the left fingertips to the big toe. We're gonna bring the right arm out to a T, or I'm gonna bend my elbow like a cactus branch. And on the exhale, we're gonna bring that right leg over the left side of the body. Again, keeping both shoulder blades even on the mat. And you can take the gaze over the right shoulder if that feels good. Then inhaling, bringing it back to center. Exhale, we're gonna lower that heel inch by inch down to the mat. And then we're gonna bend the left knee, take the left peace fingers around the left big toe, stretch that leg out. On the exhale, we'll take it out to the side. And inhale, bring it back to center. We'll switch the fingertips on the toe, bring the left arm out to a T, or you can bend it into a cactus branch, and then we'll take the left foot over the right side of the body, turning the gaze towards the left. And inhale, bringing it back to center. Exhale, lowering that heel inch by inch down to the mat. Let's roll it up and come into boat pose. Nice and tall. On the exhale, we're gonna lower to a hover. And inhale, bring it back to boat pose. Exhale, lower it to a hover. Inhale, bring it back to boat pose. Exhale, lower to a hover. Inhale, bring it back to boat pose. And exhale, let's bring it all the way down. Nice work. Inhale, we're gonna lift the right knee. Exhale, hug that knee in towards the chest. Keeping the air out, we'll take the chin towards the knee. Inhale, release the head back to the mat. Exhale, release the leg. Inhale, bend the left knee. Exhale, hug the left knee in towards the chest. Squeezing out all the air. Keeping the air out, taking the chin towards the knee. Inhale, bringing the head back down to the mat. Exhaling, releasing the leg. Inhale, bending both knees. Exhale, hugging both knees into the chest. Keeping the air out, taking the chin towards the knees. Inhaling, bringing the head back down to the mat. Exhaling, releasing the legs. All right, nice work, everybody. You can gently rock the head from side to side. Relax the jaw, relax the gaze. And gaze back to center, roll the shoulders away from the ears. Just let the feet flop out, bring the arms away from the body. Don't try to control the breath, but just notice how it moves through the body. Notice any sensations in your body, anything that's been stretched or squeezed. Thanking yourself for taking this time to work on your yoga practice. And here in final meditation, if you find any thoughts come up to distract you, just smile and let them pass along on their way. Our thoughts proceed from us, but they don't control us. Wiggle the fingers and toes. Make circles with the wrist and the ankles. Inhale, bring the arms up overhead. Exhale, point the toes. Take a nice long body stretch. Another good inhale, and on the exhale, make your way onto the right side of the body, coming into the fetal position. Resting here for a few breaths. And then whenever you're ready, you can take your top hand and press yourself slowly, gently, and carefully up into a comfortable seated position. Inhale, bring the arms up overhead. Exhale, bring the hands to the forehead for a thought, well thought. Bring the hands to the mouth for a word well spoken. Bring the hands to the heart for a deed well done. The light within me salutes the light within you. Namaste.